Get ready to witness the exhilarating clash of steel and skill as we bring you coverage of the World Axe Throwing League Pro-Am Championship. The best axe throwers from around the world have gathered to showcase their precision, power, and nerve in a high-stakes battle for glory. From rookies aiming for their first bullseye to seasoned pros seeking to etch their names into axe throwing history, this tournament promises thrills, excitement, and the unmistakable sound of axes hitting the mark. Welcome to Appleton, Wisconsin for the 2023 Pro-Am Championships. Today, it's the World Axe Throwing League Finals. 8 different events and a jam-packed day of action. We welcome you inside Appleton, Wisconsin with the commissioner of the World Knife Throwing League, Evan Walters, and one of the best in axes or knives, Mike Kump. I'm Evan Budrovich. Gearing up for a great day of action. Evan, what makes this event so interesting? What are we going to see today?
Well, it's called a Pro-Am for a reason. We have pros here. We're going to see them compete in the finals, and we have a lot of amateurs who have never been on ESPN before, and we've got to see them fight their way up through this entire weekend to be here today for everyone.
And Mike, 8 different skills competitions testing all different levels. How do you succeed in a day like this?
Well, and most of them I didn't, but a lot of these teams did. You're going to see events like the Six-pack challenge where you want to hit your dot but avoid the other teams. And you're going to see the event like the relay where you're picking up every implement over and over and over. No time to warm up, no time to practice. Make it happen live and right there.
4 days of axe throwing leading to these championship finals. And Mike, you're up first. Your team's up. Good luck, my friend.
The other team's going to need some good luck. How about that?
And with that, let's get the competition started. Before we get started, let's have a quick word about safety and axe throwing from the World Axe Throwing League.
I'm Mario Zelaya, the founder of the World Axe Throwing League, where safety is our top priority. That's why we've worked closely over the years with AxeThrowingInsurance.com. At venues like Bad Axe Throwing, we have fencing that protects both the spectators and the throwers from ricochets. The golden rule of safety for axe throwing is simple. Throw together, retrieve together. This rule ensures that nobody is in the lane when axes are being thrown. One of the keys to safety is using WATL axes. Wattle axes are specifically made and designed for throwing, unlike standard hatchets from your local hardware store. One of the factors that has contributed to our growth has been AxeThrowingInsurance.com. They have helped hundreds of venues remain safe and insured, including facilities similar to this one. Thanks to the safety and the rules created by the World Axe Throwing League, the industry has remained free from any insurance claims related to throwing. For more information on the World Axe Throwing League, starting a venue, getting insurance, or the axes we use, please visit worldaxethrowingleague.com.
The WATL jerseys are brought to you by Flight Faction. Get your custom jerseys today at flightfaction.com. Let's introduce you to our first competition, the PBR Six-pack. There's unique aspects of this game in terms of scoring 2 points for your own color and then 1 point for your opponent if you score on the wrong frame.
These skills teams battled through a field of 50-plus teams. Our team, Kyle Rickenbaugh, captain, Michael Kump, and Tasia Cobbs. Their challengers, Mr. Vale Cook, Chester Trasper Damaraki, Stephen Olaball.
One thing to keep in mind with these PBR Six-pack scoring areas is that each circle is probably about half the size of the blade, and they're so close together that unless you're doing some very, very good throwing, you're almost guaranteed to hit both.
We got some knife blockers out there right now.
Lazabal just misses. And now it's Kyle Rickenbaugh's turn. Out of Newburgh, Indiana. 5 years now throwing these axes. Now it's Stevens' turn. trying to stick it in that top left.
You know, you can see the back of these axes here, too. They have not quite a point. It's not sharp or anything, but it is tapered. And the reason so many people are throwing this particular axe is because it's tapered, so you can kind of guide other axes in between if need be. This one is the King of Diamonds.
There'll be 9 throws in these rounds, 3 rounds each. And then that third round gets interesting with the 1.5 spin checking
Blue
in.
team, 5 points. Red team, 3 points. Moving on to round 2, where they will throw at the middle 6-pack.
So Team Kump with 5 points early, and Team Cook with the 3 points. Coming up in round 2, it's an important scoring round here for Tasia Cobbs, already with the lead. Let's get this round rolling. Tasia unable to stick it. So Chester Dumaraki with an opportunity.
They're throwing on some fresh boards, so that is going to require a bit more power to push through the axe through that.
Just a bit low there for Tasia. You get 3 throws total.
Also worth noting that this sport, since its inception, has always had women and male competitors in every discipline. And this is the first time we've had a woman make the broadcast, which is absolutely fantastic to see. We've had a lot this weekend.
And Tasia steps up for her team. Big third throw. Now it comes down to the final scoring on a crowded board right in the middle. Just misses high.
Oh, I don't know. It may have nipped the little bottom there.
Our head judge taking a look.
Blue
That's
team,
Tyler Flynn.
5. Red team, 5.
So each team with 5 apiece. It's 10-8 in favor of Team Kump.
This round must be thrown 1.5 spin. If the red team manages to win this round by 2, leaving us in a tie, red team will win as the tiebreaker.
Yeah, here's
is
Mike Kump
the final
himself
round.
stepping up from the booth versus Vale Cook, who reigns from Austin, Texas. He's just new to the sport, relatively speaking. Just under 6 years. These are vastly experienced competitors. And Mike Kump starts with a good score.
I will say that earlier this weekend I saw the most impressive throwing in this category, particularly done by Mike Kump, having to throw his axe vertically in order to get the points he needed to be here today.
It's 4 days of competition to get to this final. It is intense here in Appleton, Wisconsin at the Fox Cities Event Center. And Mike needed that blue. He couldn't hit it. So the red is open here for Cook. Oh, and Chef Vale a bit short.
You see they're moving quite far to the outside of the lane just so they can try to squeeze in some of the outside points, trying to avoid threading the needle on those axes. But I think
Mike may have touched the bottom of that blue.
It looks like it.
That'd be a huge point for Mike Kump. This is the final throw for Vale. He needs this one. What does Cook have in the bag? Oh, couldn't stick it.
From downtown,
that,
but
the
did
blue
not
team
get where it
takes
needed to go.
And the
PBR
blue team,
Six-pack
Rickenbach,
challenge.
Kump, and Cobbs, your champion of the PBR Six-pack. The Pabst Six-pack Challenge is brought to you by Pabst Blue Ribbon, the official beer of the World Axe Throwing League. Cheers to that championship, my friend. Now we kick it over to our specialist, Rob Levering, with the interview with today's champions.
I'm here with the champions of the PBR Six-pack Challenge, Kyle Rickenbach, team captain. How did you choose to draft your team with the 2nd overall pick?
Well, when we created the list, I went through, looked at all the throwers. Kump was number 1 on my list just because I know he's got a lot of experience and skills, and he's world champ. in a bunch of things. So he's a great pick. And Tasia was high on my list too. I was just happy she ended up on my team when it snaked back to my second last pick, which was awesome. So happy. Tasia carried us all weekend.
Tasia, you joined a team with two pillars of our community. How do you feel about joining such a stacked team?
Extremely grateful, for sure. Just because, I started throwing knives just because of Mike last year. So, and I love knives. Absolutely love it.
Michael Kump, no unfamiliarity to the broadcast. Michael, how do you feel about being another champion?
It feels good, and I think Tasia's being really humble. She honestly carried us through a lot of these events this weekend. I couldn't be happier with my team. Kyle, thank you for picking me.
Congratulations, guys, on your championship.
When we come back, we'll gear up for our next round of the Pro-Am Championships here in Appleton, Wisconsin. It's the Twisted Duels. Stick around. We have plenty of fun here with Axis. Welcome back to Appleton, Wisconsin for our second competition in the Pro-Am Championships.
Twisted Duels, a match between Team Dustin Wellman and Vale Cook versus the Flow Bros, Depke and Tyler Flynn.
This is the Twisted Duels of Axe and team competition underway.
Yeah, in this event, you're going to see the players alternating throwing a 1.5 rotation hatchet and throwing a big axe, but throwing it duels at the same time.
And Sparks flying with the first throw.
2 hits for Tyler Flynn and John Depke.
6-5.
5, drop.
And if you're getting a little bit of deja vu, it's because Vale Cook was just up there throwing 1.5 rotation in the PBR Six-pack challenge. So maybe coming in a little warmed up.
Each competitor 5 total throws in these rounds.
It's a loft. There we go, avoiding each other there, Wellman and Cook.
Depke and Flynn. Only able to hit one. That might open the door for Team Vale.
5, drop.
4, 5.
And what we're seeing here is that delicate dance of the duels competition. You want to get as close as you can to get those 5s and 6s, but the closer you get, the more chance for that catastrophic drop.
High risk, high reward.
Here's throw 3 of 5. These competitors have been grinding it out for 4 days to get to these championships.
They make it look easy, but
might be 2 5s or 6s at least. Great tosses.
And on each one of these throws, you will see these throwers switch which one they are throwing. You see Vale throwing the big axe on that throw after the previous throwing the 1.5 rotation hatchet.
4, 4.
Adding another
6,
element.
5.
Those are our lead officials, Tabitha Fisher and Ben McDonald, who both are highly involved in the World Axe Throwing League on the officiating side of things. And now a 1-point difference. Team Vale Cook and Dustin Wellman back in front.
Our team of Depke and Flynn, the Flow Bros, sporting their signature caps backwards with long, luscious locks.
The timing is everything. And the location's pretty good, too, for the Hair Bros.
6, 5.
4, 4.
And I think we're
3-point swing.
Yeah.
So now Depke and Flynn are up 2 as we hit this final set of throws here in round 1.
I see some taps. Does that mean we're going up? Let's see.
seems like it.
The kill shots are initiated. Going for the 8s. The Gangnam Style's back.
Kill shots called.
Here we go. Kill shots on the line for both.
All 4 going for those blue dots at the top.
0 for 2.
Very close. I think they got him.
Very close for Team Depke Flynn.
Hit, miss.
Miss, miss.
We have our first kill shot hit of these Twisted Duel finals. That's it for this match, but this is a best of 3, so on to the next one.
Very close. You can hear those axes just barely touch in midair.
Almost equally impressive
Wow.
there from Depke Flynn. Let's see what Tabitha Fisher has for her scoring on the left.
4-4.
5-4.
All right, a 1-point difference.
I feel like that's probably the best strategy, is just to try to aim for like the 5 ring. That's not quite the bullseye, but the ring around it. You know, worst comes to worst, you get a 4, but you make sure you don't intercept each other's axes too bad.
So one thing I'm noticing here, the team of Cook and Wellman not switching sides when they switch implements. Flynn and Depke are.
That 1.5 spin from 15 feet adds a little bit of element of difficulty there too. Not just the big axe of logging it across, but
Absolutely. When you turn
3,
that axe around
4,
and face the
5.
blade towards you, it completely flips how the axe weight feels in your hand. It makes it very much more back weighted and really messes around with how you throw and release it.
and gearing up for throw 3 of 5 for these competitors. So now it's 18-15 for Team Depke, already with the 1 match lead from earlier. Leaves an opening for Team Flynn Depke. And they take advantage.
Closing that gap.
The team of Flynn and Depke
6,
are commonly
4.
duels
5,
partners
5.
in all types of implements, knives, hatchets, and now in this twisted duels. Probably gives them a little bit of advantage, right? They're very comfortable with each other. Their timing is already set. They know each other's tendencies. The team of Cook and Wellman, I don't believe, commonly throw doubles and duels together.
All 4 of these competitors have been tossing axes for 5+ years now.
Exactly, and it really shows you why they would excel at these types of games where you're constantly switching back between an axe, a big axe, a hatchet, to knives. They've been in the sport so long, they just know how to do it. Tyler Flynn smacking the bullseye with that 1.5. And Depke doing his job, right? Sticking the big axe, get a 4,
5,
stay out of Tyler's
4.
way.
6-4.
Adding a point to the lead for Team Flynn Depke. So this final toss now is essentially for the tournament, for the championship. Vale and Wellman need some big points.
They're gonna try to egg them on into going kill shots with them. Will they do it? 8
Big
Kill
points on
shots
the
are
line
called.
with the kill shots activated.
Might be just 1 kill shot here. Let's see from Depke. The team of Cook and Wellman both going up.
Anyone doing the math at home might question why Depke and Flynn are going to be going up for the kill shots since they are in the lead, but just kind of speaks to a bit of the sportsmanship
Oh, wait
here.
a second. We might have one on the left.
Now they're going to need it.
At least 1, which forces Tyler to at least hit a 4 to tie.
Now the math becomes a factor.
Is Tyler in the 4 or the 5? If he's in the 4, we're tied.
Who is our winner?
Miss. Hit.
4, miss.
42 a pop.
We have a tie game.
And you can hear the crowd cheering. It's our favorite thing in axe throwing. Who sucks less? Both teams will be throwing at the kill shots. The closest axe to a kill shot, if a kill shot is not hit, would be the winning team.
Sudden death is underway. Perfect way to put axe throwing on the map today. Team Cook and Wellman go first.
I have a feeling we're going to see some hits.
Oh, I
Very
think
close. Might
Is
have
that
one
big
hit
axe
there.
in?
I think it is.
Good throw by Wellman.
That puts the
Flynn and
pressure on.
Depke. Very close.
Did they double hit?
Is that a winner? It is. Congratulations, Tyler Flynn and John Depke, your champions of the Twisted Duels. Let's take a second look at that with a Pabst Blue Ribbon replay.
Incredible. I mean, they were just consistent. They only hit each other 1 time for a drop. Other than that, they were just grouping right near the bullseye.
And a good sign of sportsmanship throughout. Now we'll take it over to interview the champions.
I'm here with Twisted Duels champions, Flow Bros, John Depke, Tyler Flynn. Guys, we saw you guys both hit kill shots to end and win the championship. Was that the plan the entire time, double kills?
Yeah, we intentionally missed the last kill and threw a 4 just to keep it interesting. You know, like, we wanted to win like that, and so we totally intentionally missed the previous one.
And we even hit kills not using our strongest implements to hit kills.
How long have you guys been duels partners in these events?
About a year?
About a year, maybe 2.
Congratulations, guys. Well done.
Congratulations to John Depke and Tyler Flynn on the victory. Stay tuned to see Axes and Knives next up in the Relay Finals. Coming to you from Appleton, Wisconsin, the World Axe Throwing League Pro-Am Championship. Welcome back into the Fox City Exhibit Center here in Appleton, Wisconsin, gearing up for our next round of competitions, the Relay Skills Challenge. This combines not only hatchets and knives and big axes, but a lot of different variables when you're competing against a team.
Relay skills on the table. We've got Dr. Dan, Jeremy Hanna, and Brian Lawson versus Dylan Teets, Chrissy Teets, and Joel Bauer.
Gearing up, get ready to go. And guys, this competition, there's a lot of mental aspects as well, not just the physical side here in this competition.
Absolutely. Going from all these different implements to different spins, and also it's a bit of a race of sorts. You're trying to get as many of these done quickly as possible before your opponents do. So there's a lot more aspects of play mentally than there is typically in most of the other competitions.
It comes down to scoring in each round, and the winning team will move on to the next implement. So if you fall behind, you have to watch your opponent keep moving on the course while you stay behind at the hatchet or the knife and try to catch up. And with that, the competition is underway here in the axe relay.
All right, everyone at their hatchet line.
It all begins with the one spin hatchet. You win, you move on, you lose, and you watch your opponents continue to rack up instruments.
As you progress backwards, the implements and the style with which you're throwing get a little more difficult. The knives a little more difficult than the hatchet. 1.5 rotation, a little more difficult than that. The big axe. And then finally back to the 2 rotation knife. As you step backwards, it's a little bit easier for your opponent. So hopefully, maybe they'll try to make their way and catch up.
Jeremy Hanna versus Chrissy Teets on the second throw. And now an early advantage for the team on the right. Dylan Teets will have to carry the load for his squad.
Interesting to see Dan throw first there when I think he could have waited, and he also did not go for kill shot.
Did Dylan clean up the point total? Big math here for Tyler Flynn, our lead judge.
664, 664, run it back.
And I was a little bit surprised there to not see Dylan go for the kill shot. It was wide open. He's the 2023 best hatchet thrower in the world, as world champion. And he chose to go for the tie there.
It is still pretty early. Maybe he's just playing it safe. It's better to kind of force the tie than to try to risk it and fall behind.
I think he's just hamming it up and trying to get more time on screen.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely it.
You win this round, you move on to the one spin knife, so you do want to take advantage here. Scoring with 6 in the bullseye, you expand out. Of course, the kill shot, the 8-pointer, if you so choose.
You're mostly going to see that kill shot on a third throw of these rounds. Usually when a team is down and needs it. But a thing like single spin hatchet, people are confident in it. They might just go for it.
All comes down to Dylan Teets here. Countering Sabalos, who hits it. And Teets does the same.
Team Teets.
And the winner is Team Teets.
One spin knife.
So they'll move on to the knife throwing.
Proceed to the 10-foot line.
While Team Jeremy Hanna, Brian Lawson, and Dan Sabalos will have to go back to the hatchets.
Now, so as we work our way back, right, we see the first changing of an implement for Team Teets. They haven't thrown knives in a while. They might not be that good at it, whereas the other team has been throwing hatchet. Should be easier for them to clean up this round and catch up.
Oh.
Or is it?
Bullseye.
Team Teets ready to go. And a response from Lawson.
Bullseye.
Trading.
The thing like you mentioned earlier, Mike, is that as these progress, they do get more difficult. So it kind of almost naturally allows people to somewhat be able to catch back up, which is going to make a pretty intense game going forward.
Looks like maybe a 5 for Joe Flower. Very good. Can't expect 6s on these one-spin knives.
And Hannah a bit high, so the door's open for Dylan Teets.
That's an excellent point, though, Mike, is the coverage on these knives is much less than an axe, so that even just naturally it's going to be a lot harder to gain more points over the opponents.
Exactly, given the advantage to those hatchets that, should typically be easier. Let's see.
Dan Ceballos needed a bigger number.
Again, surprised they didn't go kill shot.
Team Teets moves on.
And Team Teets moves on to the third implement of 5. A good advantage here with the 2 early points. A husband-wife duo of Dylan and Chrissy Teets out of Wood River, Illinois.
Chrissy was saying earlier this weekend that Dylan, who is her husband and also the current world hatchet champion, has been training her to be able to compete on the teams up until this tournament. So it looks like that's been paying off.
Moving on to the 1.5 spin with that hatchet.
Now, that's not all that close to the bullseye, and you're like, oh, that's not good. Honestly, sticking the 1.5 on your first attempt, pretty good, especially coming from a knife.
Yeah,
on the
not
previous
bad.
throw. Joe coming in with the arm up, much more typical of a tomahawk throw.
Remember, total points are a factor if you want to move on for either team. Whoever scores the most will win this round. Hannah's putting a ton of pressure on Team Teets.
Now, for the team on the right, there's not a lot of room to get an axe between there into that bullseye. Will they go for the kill shot? I don't know.
I feel like that'd be the
Looks
safe.
like Teets is going for the kill shot too. Okay, Dylan. The bright lights are on. What does the 24-year-old have in his bag?
Very close. Not quite. I do believe that Teets is the youngest world champion that the World Axe Throwing League has ever had.
I believe so, yeah.
And that'll open the door for Team Lawson to get a win. So they'll move on to the next implement, over to the knives. And now this crowd in Appleton, Wisconsin is fired up halfway through this competition.
They love Dan. Dan has been one of the favorites of the community for years now. To see him get here under the bright lights on a broadcast, everyone is thrilled.
The Wisconsin native. Drills his knife. Good score. Flauher's trying a wide angle here.
Wants to get around the other axe.
Ooh. 2 quality scores, but this opens the door for Lawson.
All right, let's look at 4. Matching Joe. Now, for those throwing knives, there's a lot more room there to squeeze in between. The hatchets take up a little bit more, yeah.
Split the handles here to get this 5 or 6.
Oh, I think he's going to try it too.
Oh, just a bit high.
Okay.
It was a bit high, but at the same time, he still had maybe 2 inches of leverage.
Wow, Hannah will help his team win back-to-back rounds, and we are even again. Into the third. It's a battle of the hatchets moving forward. Then the big axe, then the 2-spin knife will ultimately decide it. Chrissy Teets will get things started for her team. Against Jeremy Hannah going first. What a start for Team Teets.
Team Teets warmed up on this 1.5. For the others, their first time throwing it.
Joe Flauher, the engineer, will look to orchestrate a tough shot. Does he ever?
Just the tiniest little clink of the 2 axes barely touching.
And you saw him throw a very similar shot in the last round, making that adjustment this round, getting the axe up higher, scoring what would appear to be a 5 at least.
Now the pressure on Ceballos, who needs a ton of points.
Pretty solid, though. Not quite the bullseye, but really good.
And Teets able to score.
Oh, I think. Yep, still them.
And Team Teets moves on to the fourth implement, the big axe, which is totally different than throwing a knife or a hatchet. That's a much different conversation.
A lot heavier and just a totally different weighting and length of handle.
So another fun thing about the strategy in this and the relay is that the different weights and things like that, you never are able to get accustomed to your muscle memory for this game.
And in these last couple of rounds, right, we were talking about the hatchet taking up more room than the knives. Well, guess what? The big axe takes up a lot of room. Try squeezing 3 of those into the bullet.
And it is a heavy throw from that distance. 15 plus feet. Hannah able to hit his first.
The drop is going to be pretty hard.
Chrissy Teets imploring this crowd. She's been the rock star of both axe and knife throwing.
Evening things up with the 4.
Oh, Lawson couldn't stick it.
And now we're dead even.
Yep, that's exactly what Team Teets was looking for.
And you saw that collision. Lawson not moving out to the left or right to create angle, staying straight on and hits that handle.
Dylan with a great score. That's got bullseye material very close. It's up to Ceballos here.
A little high.
Team Teets with another win. They're down to their final instrument all of a sudden. The knives one more time.
This is where, of all the people on Team Teets' team, Joe Flower does kind of specialize in knives at this point. So I think that they're going to have a slight edge on. But it is still 2 spin from 15 feet away. There's no easy throw.
What a luxury. Hatchets versus knives to decide the champion. No stick there for Chrissy. Pressure applied by Hannah.
And the other thing, too, they just went from throwing the biggest implement in any of these throwing sports to the smallest at a farther distance.
Now, last round, we saw Lawson not choose to move out to the left or right and collide with the handle of Hannah and drop. Will he do it this time?
What a knife dagger. You mentioned that specialty is put to use there for Flower. Lawson also scores.
Wow.
Teets with good points.
I think that's in the bullseye.
It might be.
Might have hit the 6.
Oh, man.
Definitely a 5 for sure. Ceballos here, adding to it. And that should be the difference. Team Ceballos, they'll move on to the big axe. Well, Team Teets is in its final round. So if Team Teets wins this round, they are the champions.
That's right.
Can Chrissy lead off here and make that adjustment from that drop in the last round?
There's going to be a lot of pressure on her to start off right.
This husband-wife duo of Dylan and Chrissy Teets.
As we mentioned, a lot easier to squeeze 3 knives in than 3 big axes. So,
see, again, the mental game here that you were talking about earlier, I think we just saw it in action, is that is a lot of pressure.
Good stick with the big axe. Let's see what Flower can draw up.
going through the routine.
Joe delivers a solid number. Not the 6 he wanted, but that'll still keep his team in it. Oh, here we go, Ceballos. Let that lettuce, let him cook. And he delivers for the crowd, a nice score.
Leaves the middle open with that bullseye, should they need it. But this is going to be a tall order for Dylan Teets here.
Dylan Teets. Hits!
Wow.
Kill
shot.
Are you kidding? The venue owner's putting the team on his back at River Bend.
Now it's a big risk to try to thread that needle and go for that bullseye, but they might need it.
Jeremy Hanna, game on the line with his toss.
I believe a 5 or better wins it, so they're going to stay down.
He did it! It comes down to the final round of knives to determine our champion.
This is it.
If that's not drama, I don't know what is. What a performance by Hanna and crew.
Riding that energy maybe from the Big Axe as they grab the knives for two-spin for the first time, whereas the Teats, and Flower, they've been doing this for 2 or 3 rounds now.
All comes down to this, knife versus knife.
I believe Hanna is their strongest knife thrower. I think he will go third. And now Flower choosing to go first.
Joe can't hit.
Can we get a second stick here?
Well, the pressure's on. Lawson steps up. Chrissy Teets needs this. Chrissy Teets with a solid number.
Keeping them in it.
Jeremy Hanna, the 35-year-old from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. What does Hanna have in store? That's a big number.
Did they shut them out? It's hard to tell. I think a kill shot may tie.
Teets is going for the kill shot.
A lot of pressure here.
Do or die for the championship of the relay. Dylan Teets, the floor is yours. Oh!
The winner!
A slight over-rotation. The tip of the knife didn't get in.
Congratulations to Team Lawson, Hanna, and Ceballos, your champions of the relay.
And as we mentioned earlier, this is the Pro-Am. That means the professionals and the amateurs. We are seeing so many more faces from the community here this time around, and it's so good that they finally are able to get on to this broadcast and show off how amazing this sport is.
So now we head over for the final interviews with our champions.
I'm here with the relay champions, Dan, team captain, Dan. Epic comeback, guys. How did you draft your team?
So as a captain, well, thank you, Rob. I know that, in terms of my throwing style, I knew my strengths, I knew my weaknesses. So when I was going into the draft for the amateurs, and I say amateurs in quote because these guys are the real professionals right here, I was the worst knife thrower on the team. And so my strategy was that since it was predominantly a knife, focused throwing event, these guys were going to carry me, and they did. They took home the victory, and I give them all the credit. I was just the one that kind of just kept all the energy up for our team.
Ron, you guys went down early. You guys were down pretty bad. Were you worried at all about not winning?
Just a little bit, but then once we got momentum going, it all felt good.
Jeremy, you are the MVP of this team right now. You hit 2 monstrous big shots. Did you feel any extra pressure going into those?
A little bit, yeah. It all rode on that throw, so I sent it.
And who do we have here?
This is my daughter, Amelia.
Hi, Amelia.
Hi.
Congratulations, guys. Well done on your victory as champions of relay.
We have more axe throwing coming up, so stay tuned. The World Axe Throwing League Amateur Hatchet Semifinals are next. Welcome back to the Fox City Events Center here in Appleton, Wisconsin. Continuing our coverage of the World Axe Throwing League at the 2023 Pro-Am Championships. This is a fun event and really exposes different names and new faces to the sport of axe throwing. Our Amateur Hatchet Semifinal. Let's take a look at the scoring for the standard hatchet competition. You can see here the outer rings are lower scores going from 1 through 5 until you hit the center bullseye. That's 6 points. The 2 small blue dots at the top of the board, they're called kill shots. They must be called in order to count, and if they're hit, a player will earn a whopping 8 points.
This is semifinals 1. We have Vincent Gallinera versus Cheetos Colavecchia.
These are not your typical champions, not your long-time huge names in the sport.
6-5.
And it makes it really interesting as we get things started. Vincent Gallinera, Matthew Colavecchia, known as Sheep Toast. And these two are battling it out today for a trip to the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really great to see, you know, the implementation of a tiered system and tiered brackets that really allow great throwers like these to get on a broadcast and be, you know, get that exposure
5-6.
that they deserve.
There's a 5 for Colavecchia and a 6 for Gallinera. You get 10 total throws in these hatchet rounds, thrown from the 10 feet. And it is a grind for these competitors, over 200 in the amateur rounds just to get to these semifinals. And both have just hit bullseye.
6-6.
Yeah, you'll see both these competitors today, right? That red dot is what they're going to be going for the majority of the match. 2 kill shots, those blue dots up there allowed per round. They're going to be trying to get into their routines, be as methodical and robotic as they can without losing focus, though. Sometimes you get into that groove and things start to slip, and then suddenly you throw a 5 or a 4, and you're chasing from behind.
Checking the final scorings
5-5.
here. And a couple of 5s with Tabitha Fisher, our lead judge. So we're nearing the halfway point. This is throw 5 of 10.
Sheep Toast over there making a little face. I don't know if he was upset with himself or maybe thinks that might have been a 6.
That time he guarantees it.
Absolutely.
Right down the middle.
6-5.
There's our first lead for Sheep Toast. He's out of Ontario, Canada.
Switch sides.
Taking on Vincent Gallinera from Augusta, Georgia.
Throw
We get the
6.
tap and switch for these last final 5 throws. Throw number 6, a very common one to see people miss as they switch to the other board, and it kind of resets their mind a little bit.
Might have 2 6s again. We do.
What do I know?
There are bullseyes all over the place in this amateur semifinal. Logan Keane and Eric Rimblas waiting next.
Oh, a little bit out to the right for Gallinera.
5-5.
The 1-point lead remains for Sheep Toast, Matthew Colavecchia. He's been throwing for 5 years. His acupuncture is full time, and he is darting up that board.
Right down the middle for both.
6-6.
These bullseyes are really fascinating with his hatchets. Both competitors are putting up high scores.
Oh, absolutely, and we're coming into
Throw
throws
9.
9
Kill
and 10
shots
here.
are called.
Yeah,
The kill shot has been activated, hitting that blue dot for the 8 points.
with that 1-point differential, you don't want to stay down and score 6. Your opponent gets that 8. Suddenly, they're in the lead.
Big throws right near the kill.
Oh, they're both so
Did he
close.
hit it?
Hit.
Wow, back-to-back kill shots. And it's still a 1-point difference.
And we're going to see another set. There it is.
Let's do it again. Run it back. Final throw of this first round.
All right, Colavecchia on the left. If he hits this kill shot, he locks and shuts him out. If you're in Gallinera, hit and hope that he misses.
Open the door. Oh my goodness. Back-to-back hits. Colavecchia gets a huge win. Those are high scores too, 61-60.
Absolutely. 4 clean kill shots for the competitors and only a couple
Boards are live.
slightly missed
Good luck.
bullseyes.
As an amateur myself, I agree.
With Evan Walters and Mike Kump, I'm Evan Budrovich. This is round 2. Colavecchia won the first round. He needs one more to go to the championship. And a couple of sixes begin this second round.
And if you're in Gallinera and you're down around, that red dot starts to look a little smaller and smaller every throw.
Both these guys are locked in right now. Just matching points through the first 2 throws. Oh my goodness.
Will we see 2 perfect games? Maybe.
That magic 64 sitting on the table.
Rewind and hit play. These last few throws here.
Oh, our first quote-unquote not perfect score.
Commentator's curse immediately.
5-6.
Okay, a 1-point lead for Sheep Toast, the artist formerly known as Matthew Kolovecchia. I want Sheep Toast working on my back because the way he can acupuncture this board is amazing.
6-5.
The full-time acupuncturist is not missing in this round.
Let's say, if it's anything, it's a testament to his precision.
So a 6
Switch
and
targets.
a 5.
I believe Sheep Toast, a practicer of martial arts throughout his life. You see a lot of the strong core and balance. You see his feet staggered there. You're going to see him rock back and forth to get momentum using his body so that his hands can be very precise, and they're just guiding it. The energy's already there coming through
4-5.
his feet.
Now in Gallinera gets himself a bit of a lead. Coming up on throw 7 of 10 in the second round. Did he hit the bullseye?
4-6.
Wow, 3-point lead.
I see Sheep Toast messing around with his hand a little bit. I know he uses very grippy, I think a baseball bat grip he actually wraps around the handle of his axe.
Kill shot
Shot is
called.
called in throw 8 of 10. Interesting.
What he's hoping for here is to hit this kill and for Gallinera to throw a 5, and they would be tied.
Oh, I think it might happen.
Big time.
Hit.
The kill is hit, but a 6.
Ooh.
So still the 1-point
He's
lead.
within 1.
But you chop 2 out of the difference.
Now, he may stay down here and then go back up on 10. Let's see what happens.
I don't know with how Kolovecchia was throwing kill shots earlier.
Oh.
6-6.
Back to back, bullseyes. So it comes down to this final round with a 1-point difference. Kolovecchia
Kill
wants
shot
the kill
called.
shot.
Kill
So
shot
does
called.
Gallinera.
Well, and Gallinera's going to get it whether he likes it or not because Kolovecchia has been on fire with those kill shots today.
A
Kolovecchia
reverse.
has the advantage with the one match earlier.
Yeah, and a reverse of that first round. And Gallinera just needing to hit to win.
How about that performance?
Hit.
Kill gives in Gallinera the win. And we head to game 3.
I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen pros throw this consistent kill shots in a long time.
Oh. Low for Sheep Toast.
4-6.
That is a big advantage early on. 2 points.
How early is the kill shot a factor now if you're Sheep Toast down 2?
You're still going to wait a while. Probably that 7 to 8, throw 7 or 8 range still. He's going to just hope to chip away here.
Really, the
Certainly tough with Gallinera barely missing at all in this round. 2 for 2.
Still going to play the waiting game a little bit, see if maybe there's a slight slip up before he's forced to kind of go into those kills, but I think it's an inevitability at this point.
And on that first throw, right, we saw Sheep Toast go low for a 4. I think that's a little bit of the factor of that rock back and forth, right? If you don't get that exactly right and your release is too late, you're going to drop it immediately low.
Yeah.
6-6.
3 straight sixes for Gallinera, who's an axe throwing venue owner himself up in the Augusta, Georgia area. Looks like Gallinera gets another point.
5-6.
Oh, 5.
Okay, chasing 3. We're at the 5 mark, 5 of 10.
I'm looking at Gallinera right now. He is just going through the routine, breathing softly, calm, cool, and collected.
6-5.
Wow, the first break for Gallinera. He didn't get the 6. So it chips down to a 2-point difference. The perfect game is out, so to speak.
Oh, the reset for Sheep Toast. If it doesn't feel right, take a moment.
And it's that whole body movement, too. It's not just, obviously the most important is kind of where your arm is trailing when you're making that throw, but that whole body movement has to be in sync for that throw to hit.
Exactly. Any little bit of off balance, and you're just going to sail that axe in the wrong direction.
The World Axe Throwing League founded in 2017, and now in this competition we have amateur hatchet battling it out. 2 names familiar to the sport but new to this national spotlight, Matthew Colvecchia and Vincent Gallinera. As we enter throw 7 of 10. Sheep Toast does not miss.
5-6.
And we are back even through 7.
Wow.
And that's a little bit what we were talking about, right? He opened up down 2 Sheep Toast after the first throw, but it's a long way to that 10th. He was able to chip away and get right back in it here.
Matching stroke for stroke.
6-6.
And it'll come down to the final 2 throws.
We are
Sheep's
tied
gonna want
on
to go
throw
up.
9.
He's talking to him.
45.
Talking, hey, you want to go up on that kill?
Kill shot to end it for the last 2.
Yeah, there you go. You
There
see
we
it right
go. Dilly dilly, gentlemen.
I think what they were doing there was making an agreement to go on both 9 and 10 no matter what, but we'll see. Stays perfect.
Misses wide.
Hit, miss.
And the door is open for Gallinera. Round 3, this is it. Final throw for the championship.
8-point game on throw 10.
Oh, so there was not an agreement to 9 and 10.
down.
Gallinera staying down. The
He's
crowd
gonna get
is
points.
not happy.
I can't blame him. When the title is on the line. Oh.
And your champion on to the final round. Vincent Gallinera wins it in 3. Highly competitive in this amateur hatchet. And now Vincent moves on to the championship. When we come back, the amateur hatchet semifinals continue. We'll find out who'll battle Vincent for the championship title. Great venue here in Appleton, Wisconsin at the Fox City Event Center. All sets up for this second semifinal of the hatchet competition.
We're coming up for the amateur semi number 2, Logan Keene, Eric Rimless.
And now we are ready to rock and roll, round 1.
We'll see if enough of that rim blast axe is in.
5-6.
Oh,
Good start for Keene.
just not burying deep enough there for rim blast to get in that bullseye. But it's early. He's got time to come back.
Logan is a landscape designer by day, amateur hatchet standout by night.
Six, 5.
So back even 11 apiece.
Now let's take a look at the stance and throwing style of these two throwers. We're going to see Keen right foot forward, getting the right arm extended, almost in a darts style. You're going to see Rimblás a lot more square, his feet barely staggered. He's almost squaring his shoulders up to the target as he throws.
And each hits a bullseye, stance regardless.
And that just shows, find what works for you. There's no perfect style or perfect form out there.
You got to be who you want to be. B-A-R-B-I-E.
As a thrower, Mike, I've always theorized that there is a slight height advantage to this sport. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I can give you a very good answer on that. I think I'm a tall thrower, 6'3", 4-ish. Yep. I think kill shots are very easy for me, but the bullseye is very low, so I actually duck down and bend my knees a lot to get to even height with it.
Okay, that makes sense. So maybe a slight disadvantage on the bullseye, but the kill shots you got a little advantage on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that.
So now we're halfway through. That was throw 5.
5, 6.
And a 6 for Keen gives him the slight advantage halfway through.
Switch
Speaking
your
of
targets.
Keen about eye level with the kill shots.
That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah, and I say that about ducking down because if you're staying at your full tall height, you're aiming downward, and actually, in terms of the angled trajectory, increases your amount you're going to miss by when you don't release exactly at the right timing. So being as even height as you can is actually going to be the best thing you can do. But I should stop giving away secrets here.
Nice to have a champion on the knife level and the axe level. Mike Kump and Evan Walters, the commissioner, formerly of the Axe Throwing League, now the Knife League. I'm Evan Budrovich here and throws 7 of 10.
Oh, we were tied up, but I don't think we are anymore.
5, 5.
Whoa.
Okay, 2 5s. Ooh. Keep us square.
Okay.
Akeem was really close there to the 6.
If you're Rimblás, you feel lucky to have squeezed into the 5 there. That was definitely a misrelease. May have stuck into his hand a little bit. Makes the correction.
6, 6.
And a couple of bullseyes lead us into our final 2 rounds where now those kill shots can be a part of the equation if they want to.
Are we going to get the tap?
There we go.
Kill shots.
Battle for the Blues.
The crowd loves to see it.
You'll often see them tap axes as kind of like a way of agreeing before they signal to the judge that they're going to go for those kill shots.
You know, other sports have a handshake, but
Did Rimblás hit that?
Miss. Hit.
Wow. Rimblás now up 8 points.
Logan calls kill shot.
He's going to stay down.
Eric
After
staying
gaining
down.
that advantage on throw
Throw
9.
10.
Points are important here. He does hit it.
But it's not going to be enough.
And that'll secure
Hit.
it.
5.
Eric Rimblás winning round 1. A weekend loaded with great competition, excellent crowd here in Appleton,
Boards
Wisconsin,
are live.
and now it all culminates
Good
in
luck.
an exciting semifinal of this amateur hatchet competition.
Ooh, both some nervy first throws.
yeah,
5,
both just
4.
low. Oh, lower than I thought with a 4.
Keen with the early advantage. We'll have the pro hatchets coming up next, that championship, and then we'll battle out our 2 winners to wrap things up today.
That low 4, very common miss for throwers. It's where you just don't put the effort into it, or maybe you just hold on to it a little too long, and it'll just drop right out of there.
5, 6.
A good bounce back for Rimblás, who gets the bullseye.
We see some deep breaths and
This is a
breathing it all
mental
out.
grind, too. Not only the 10 minutes of intensity here, but the 4 days leading up to these semifinals.
Who needs sleep? You know?
That's what makes the Pro-Am so
5-6.
exciting. There's a lot of different levels. And these aren't your big names, quote unquote, but they put up nice scores. 60 plus for Rimblas in that first round to win it.
And it really shows just how small the difference is between these tiered throwers. At the pro, the highest world championship level, it's only a matter of a quarter inch, per throw maybe that they're doing a little bit better than some of these competitors today.
6-6.
And it's not all the time.
And there's 2 bullseyes, too. Gallinero waits next. Vincent Gallinero. He just defeated Matthew Colavecchia. This is throw 5 of 10.
Five.
Okay.
So still the 1-point lead for Rimblas.
Switch
Very
targets.
close, and now they're going to have to switch sides. Going to kind of have to do a mental and muscle memory reset. Makes things a little more difficult, so we might see a slightly more difficult throw than we've seen recently.
And for both these guys, right, their first appearances on the broadcast under the very, very bright lights. You would think as we get into the second round, it's like, oh, they're getting warmed up. It's getting easier. I don't know. Or are they starting to sweat a little more? And does each throw get a little bit more out of your normal
Fisher having
routine?
to really evaluate that score total.
6-6.
It was a bullseye. Rimblas matches Keene. And that axe is taking some wood with it on the way out.
Sometimes that can happen. Maybe a chunk of the wood will come out or something like that, but they still got to play it as it lies for the rest of the match.
Yeah, and we've seen over the years, right, the evolution of which styles and types of woods we use on these boards. I think
6-6.
a long time ago it was commonly just wood bought at a department or hardware store, right? It could have been pine or maybe Douglas fir if you could find it. Now we've transitioned to these poplar and cottonwood boards that are a lot softer and a lot easier for the axe to enter, and they also last a lot longer. So it's really changed up the game as far as what types of axes competitors are able to use and even the angle with which they hit the board.
A special shout out to Elm City Axe Boards for providing all the boards for this.
Yeah, like a damp layer of water as well to help that axe really stick in there.
Logan's calling
It
kill
looks like a kill
shot.
shot has been called by Keene. He's down a point.
Eric
And
is calling
Rimblas
kill
joins
shot.
him. Here we go. 8 points on the line with Rimblas up 1.
Now, in the first round, they did not go 9 and 10. So if you're Rimblas up 1, you can hit a kill to shut him out. If you're Keene, you really need Rimblas to miss.
I think he may have.
Miss.
Hit.
There we go.
And Keene now has the advantage. 7-point lead. And I imagine Keene's not going to give him the kill shot opportunity here.
No, not
Eric,
after
what
he
did you
didn't
call?
get it from Rimblas in
Eric
the
is calling
first.
kill. Logan is staying down. Throw 10.
So Keene can score any points on the board. Rimblas needs this 8.
Unless he drops.
And we're going to head to a rubber match.
Hit.
Did
5.
hit the kill shot, but not enough on the points. Keene, 57-53, and it sets up an epic final to battle it out with Vincent Gallinero.
Yeah, if anything, maybe Keene's been getting a little bit better as the match has gone on, but we're slim margins.
6-5.
Good start with the bullseye for Rimblas and throw 1 of 10.
But now we're going to see also, is it going to be muscle memory over endurance? You know, they have been going for a little while. Is the muscle memory going to stay intact? Are they going to keep throwing consistently, or is some of that fatigue going to get to them?
Yeah, as we see both throwers there trying to just execute that same routine. Rimblas with what may as well have been a mirror image of his last throw.
Start. racking up sixes like Rimblas, and you put a ton of pressure on Keene. Logan, a Wisconsin native. He's got the hometown support.
If anything, I wonder if the kilt might give a slight advantage, you know? You get a little bit more leg room, a little more air.
He's got the fashion up room. Upside, that's for sure.
He's staying a little bit cooler, out there. It's pretty hot under those lights.
It may be the 30s in Wisconsin this time of the year, but it is steaming hot in this building. The pressure, the lights, the trip to a hatchet final on the line.
One thing you'll notice about their forms as well, Keene keeping his elbow a lot lower and almost kind of bringing the head of the axe in front of his eyes to use it as an aiming point. Rimblas, high elbow, axe almost up and behind and kind of cocked, ready to throw. And watch this. So you'll see Keene line up, elbow low, keeps the tip lined up with the bullseye, executes.
Yeah, Keene's more of that whipping action than with his toss.
5-6.
Definitely brings a lot more fatigue onto the elbow as opposed to using the shoulder interaction instead.
Exactly. He's almost exclusively using the extension of his elbow to throw that, right, using the tricep. And it's something that only strong, large guys can really do, honestly. I mean, it takes a lot of strength to do that, even with the hatchets. Most throwers can't execute like that.
Is that 5 there?
5-5.
Okay, all even at 34 apiece as we enter round 7 of 10. This is the ultimate round. Whoever wins this moves on to the championship.
And that style of Rimblas looks a lot like 2020 world champion Ryan Smith. Bringing it up close to the ear, getting the elbow up, following through.
You know, you're right. It really does resemble the machine.
5-5.
And how systematic his throws are.
It's a game of repetition. Do everything you can to do it, right? The more you look like a machine, the more successful you're probably going to be.
At least more consistent.
This is true. Precision is not accuracy necessarily. But he had both there.
Did we get double bullseye?
5-6.
Okay, 5 for Keene. The door's open now. Rimblas up 1.
Uh-oh.
2 throws remaining. The kill shots have been called.
That was a critical 6-5.
I was going to say, it almost looked like Rimblas took a moment to think. You know, it's just like, I don't blame him.
All right, if you're Rimblas, hit this kill and you can shut him out.
That is right on.
Miss, hit.
Oh, Rimblas with the difference maker. About to book his ticket to a final within Gallinera.
Logan is calling kill shot. Eric is staying
Rimblas
down.
staying down.
Just needs to stick it.
This for a championship berth.
Solid bullseye.
That's all he's going to need.
And some gamesmanship here from Keene. Congratulations to Eric Rimblas. He's moving on to the final, defeating Logan Keene in a dramatic 3-set match. So Rimblas and Gallinera will battle for the championship. We'll have that later in this broadcast. The World Axe Throwing League Pro Finals are brought to you by the King of Diamonds. Get yours at worldaxethrowingleague.com. Welcome back to the Fox City Events Center here in Appleton, Wisconsin. Continuing our coverage of the Pro-Am Championships here for World Axe Throwing League. And this event really brings out the heavy hitters of the sport. This is our Hatchet Championship. Joe Devine, the 42-year-old from Green Bay, Wisconsin. And Brett Jarabek, he's a young gun, 23, out of LA, the City of Angels. 2 different hometowns and 2 different styles battling it out in this championship hatchet competition.
Yeah, and this is our Pro Division Championship. And what does it feature? Two guys who have not been on a broadcast before, but on their way to get here, they went through the ringer, they went through the gauntlet, they went through Lucas Johnson. They went through guys like Dylan Teets, Vin Crescenzo, Tyler Flynn. They just took down all those veterans and made it look easy, and that's why they're here today.
So here we go, the Pro Championship underway, 10 throws each round, you best 2 of 3. And let's get this party started.
$3,000 on the line and also a gorgeous World Axe Throwing Pro-Am ring.
Two competitors who both work at axe throwing venues. That's the full-time gig here, and they're getting after it. And there's our official first toss, making round 2 6s and 6s.
You'll see Joe on the right throwing a plum, which is an axe made coming up on 100 years ago. Right around the World War II era, they've been scouring, the country, people trying to find them so that they can turn them into throwing axes. A lot of weight on the back of the head that drives it forward. You then look at Jerry Abik on the left, throwing the King of Diamonds, a wattle axe designed specifically for the throwing sport. Thin profile. The back of it leads to a thin, not quite sharp edge. And it puts all the weight on down a center plane that really keeps the axe head straight. As you see Joe kind of landing at that angle there.
6-5.
But it works for him. Whereas Jerry Abik, perfectly vertical.
A rare miss for Jerry Abik. As 24-23.
Throw 5.
As you mentioned, Joe's axe head is from an antique plum design. Jerry is one of the newer King of Diamonds. The difference is between the strength and precision. So that's why, even though he may not get quite the precision on his throws,
Switch targets.
he has the strength to power it through anyway.
Yeah, you see Joe, right? He's lobbing it up there and letting that weight that's in the back of that head drive it through the target. But those antique axes, they weren't designed for throwing. There's not as much making sure that the weight is uniform across the plane of the axe. It's not necessarily a mirror image.
6.
These wattle axes, like the King of Diamonds, are made specifically for throwing, to reduce that wobble, to keep it straight, and really make things, honestly, a little bit easier for the throwers.
Joe Devine is the first in this competition to get 6 bullseyes in a row for our PBR Six-pack bonus. Congratulations, Joe.
6-6.
Back-to-back bullseyes make it a 2-point difference, entering throw 8 of 10.
And speaking of custom-made, in the Twisted Duels earlier, we saw Dustin Wellman. He is the crafter of that handle for Joe, of that plum head. The handle is a Wellman handle.
As we mentioned earlier, most of these throwers take not just the throwing portion of the hobby, but they also make sure to craft their own implements to throw, and others as well.
Good 6 there for Devine.
Now we're in an interesting
Kill
situation.
shots are called.
And the kill shot combo.
A 3-point advantage for Joe, and he chooses to go kill shot. A lot of times people will stay down, and they throw a 5, and their opponent hits a kill, and it ends up even on the 10th throw.
Oh, that's close.
Joe not wanting to do that, but does he sneak in?
No kill shots.
Hit. Miss.
Jerry Abik with the kill. So 5-point lead all of a sudden.
Kill shot
Very
is
quick
called
switch.
by Joe.
Wow.
Throw
All
10.
that work for 8 throws for Joe to get that 3-point lead, and he washes away.
So close.
And there you have it, advantage to the young gun out of Los Angeles, winning round 1. This is a best of 3.
You know, though, at this level, at this height of the professional axe throwers, I'd just be happy to be there.
Call fires that took place as early as this morning, leading into before competition to wrap things up and see who'd be in this hatchet final.
You might see a little bit of bags under the eyes of the competitors this morning.
But the pain's worth it when you come home with that championship ring and the check. Makes for a great weekend here in Appleton, Wisconsin. The World Axe Throwing League Pro-Am Championship.
An interesting start to the round there on those first throws. A 5 and a 4.
6.
Unexpected. Maybe we're seeing that first time under the bright lights nerves coming out a little bit from our throwers.
Divine able to counter there with a nice bullseye. Entering throw 3. Oh, wow. A young kid out of LA steps up with a bullseye to match. That's Tabitha Fisher going over the scores, and back-to-back sixes keeps us even. Entering the halfway point, throw 5 of 10.
As we see Jerry Abick, the right-handed thrower, Joe, the wrong-handed thrower.
Your bias against lefties is clearly sneaking through.
How can you tell?
6, 6.
2 good bullseyes.
We're going to tap and switch. All right. The 6th throw, very critical here on the turn.
I might have just snuck out the bottom of that bullseye.
5, 6.
Did not. But a bullseye for Jerry Abick. And there's the 23-year-old with the prime position up a round. And in round 2, up a point.
I think that added weight on the axe head may have done him a little dirty on that throw.
Yeah, may have dropped down.
Confirming here.
Oh, the second look. Oh, Jerry Abick is...
Now the flashlight plays a factor.
Getting a little antsy over there.
6, 6.
2 bullseyes. That's a critical throw for Divine. Joe could have ill afforded to fall down 2 points with 3 throws left.
Really key bullseye there for Jerry Abick.
We got a battle brewing here, 46-45. Now will the kill shots be a factor? We got 1, we got 2. There we go, gentlemen. A battle of Wisconsin and California dueling it out.
Solid kill shot.
All right.
Matching performances into the final throw.
And they're going to go right back up again. Here it is.
Here we go. It comes down to the kills for this hatchet championship. Divine and Jerry Abick.
If you're Jerry Abick, hit it and you are the champion.
He's done it.
How about the 23-year-old Brett Jerry Abick coming all the way from Los Angeles up to Appleton, Wisconsin, and taking home the hatchet championship. That was a stellar round, 62-61 to wrap things up.
Incredible.
We gotta see this again. Run it back in the Pabst Blue Ribbon replay. Both competitors for our pro finals, they put on an amazing show. These guys make it look easy, barely missing those bullseyes and kill shots. But in the end, there can only be one pro champion.
Brought to you by AxeThrowingInsurance.com.
That is great emotion from the young 23-year-old. Let's figure out what was going through his mind.
I'm here at the Pro-Am pro portion champion, Brett Jerabek. How do you feel after negotiating that heavy star-packed field of pro throwers to win the championship?
Sorry, my voice is kind of gone. I still can't. I haven't really processed it yet, but oh my God, the talent was amazing here, and I'm lost for words, to be honest.
Were you intimidated at all as a fresh face in our industry? Were you intimidated at all by some of the throwers that were in this tournament?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't think it's possible not to be. I mean, this is the biggest tournament I've ever been a part of, and it's the first tournament I've ever taken first at. And it's a pretty crazy one to do that. So,
for any new throwers out there that are aspiring to be a pro, any tips in your first major win here at the Pro-Am?
Yeah, so definitely find some throwers that you like the throw of. Do your best to imitate. You don't need to know everything, but try to find something that you like. Find something that works for you. Not every tip from everybody is going to work for you. Take tips from better throwers, learn from them, but also only use what works for you. Not everything works for everyone.
Said very well from one of my favorite new throwers. Brett, congratulations on that victory.
So coming up next, we wrap up our final event here of the World Axe Throwing League Pro-Am Championships. It's our amateur hatchet finalists, Eric Rimblas, Vincent Ingalanera. What should we expect from these two heavy hitters?
Honestly, both of these competitors have been throwing fire all weekend, and even though they may be in the amateur bracket, they have definitely proven to themselves to be pros after this.
These two competitors stepping up big time. When we come back to Appleton, Wisconsin, our championship final of the amateur hatchet division when we return. The World Axe Throwing League Amateur Finals are brought to you by the King of Diamonds. Get yours at worldaxethrowingleague.com.
Boards are live. This is throw one.
And with that, we begin the Amateur Hatchet Championship. Eric Rimblas, Vincent Ingalanera here in the heart of Appleton, Wisconsin for the Pro-Am Championships. Let's get this party started.
Both competitors throwing very high level in their semifinal matchups. Looking to continue what they did there.
5-5.
A couple of fives early, 10 total tosses, 3 rounds total. And in the semifinals, Ingalanera had to battle it out with Matthew Colavecchia. Pulled it out in that 3rd round. Rimblas taking care of Keene.
If I'm remembering right, also a 3-rounder.
Yeah, 2 highly competitive matchups.
6-6.
And then a couple of bullseyes to signature their berth to the final. Rimblas, the 48-year-old from Miami, Florida. Ingalanera out of Augusta, Georgia at 46. Both have been thrown for just over 2 years. The door was open there for Rimblas. He's able to hit it.
6-4.
An early advantage here for Eric.
Yeah, as we see a big slip up there with the 4. 2 different styles here of a stance, right? You see Ingalanera, the left hand behind his back. Rimblas, the hand across the chest to the shoulder. Trying to lock in a position that'll give them a consistent feel. You want to take that off hand, and sometimes people use it for balance and stick it out. Other times they secure it and kind of anchor it to a place on their body to give themselves a routine and something consistent.
Entering round 5. That's a good toss there by Rimblas.
6-5.
The man has only missed once. 4 6s and a 5. That puts a ton of pressure on Ingalanera now. Down 4.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit shaky on his horizontally, the left to right. He's just can't quite seem to dial it in. He's got good height so far. Oh, and you see it again, far left.
Another bullseye.
4-6.
Wow, this lead is ballooning to 6. And Rimblas, who had to fight off Logan Keane in that third match just to get to this final, starts to flex his lead a little bit.
And when your lead's this big, you start to get comfortable. Let's hope it's not too comfortable.
This man just can't miss right now.
6-6.
Racking up 6 as we enter round 8. Leave the door open.
Again to the left.
Just keep racking them up.
5-6.
Eric's the man on a mission right now. 7 straight bullseyes. And the kill
Vincent
shot
is
has been
calling
called.
kill.
And Gallinero wants it.
Eric is
Now with
staying
the
down.
7-point advantage, it's almost just going to be practice for Gallinero to throw at these kill shots. If you're Rimblas, just also kind of take it like practice. Keep it near the bullseye, and you're probably going to lock this round out. But in a moment, we're going to refresh the scores, and you got to do it all over again.
Checking the tape here. Where did that touch?
Hit 6.
Wow. Rimblas is on fire.
Let's hope he can keep it up.
That bottom of the blade
10.
touched it.
Vincent
just
is
enough to
calling
get the
kill
bullseye.
shot. Eric
And
is
now one
staying
more
down.
kill shot is called.
Yeah, Rimblas, 8 out of 9 bullseyes so far. I think that may have been better than our pro.
8 out of 10, but a great performance by Rimblas.
Miss 5.
58 points in the opening win. It's his best of 3. But if you're Rimblas right now, things are rolling entering round 2.
Oh, yeah.
And now we are set to roll. The amateur championship on the line.
And Gallinero needed to win this second round to force a third. If Rimblas wins, that's it. He'd be the champion. Both a little to the right. Let's see what we get.
5-5.
Good start for both. In Gallinero, who did score 60 in a round to defeat Matthew Colavecchia in the semis. He's had some big numbers.
And he's going to need it in this round if he wants to take down Rimblas and force a third. Oh.
Doors opened here.
6-5.
And the bullseye advantage for In Gallinero, the 46-year-old in the golf capital of the world, Augusta, Georgia.
All right, I think Rimblas's last 3 attempts at a bullseye have been 5s. He has not been able to connect with that red dot as of late.
That is definitely going to hurt him if he doesn't correct that very soon.
Oh, and it's twisting out on him.
6-6.
Oh, but it still
Did
sneaks
touch
in.
the far corner.
That almost wasn't, yeah. It
Wow,
went
walking that tightrope that required Tabitha Fisher to review.
It's so important to get a very straight throw of the axe because just a slight curve is going to make it potentially go outside of the zone it needs to be in. Just like that.
Early release for Rimblas.
6-5.
You see it landing high and to the right, just a little bit early as he followed through, and you saw him just kind of shake his hand and, shake his head as well, knowing what mistake he made, which is actually a good thing. If you know what mistake you made, you can at least correct it.
And
Much
6
scarier
throws to go.
Yeah.
Have to make it here quickly with money on the line.
6-6.
Back-to-back bullseyes. That's what these competitors do. Don't call this an amateur championship today. These two are getting after it.
Absolutely, and on that throw, you notice Rimblas's axe landing perfectly straight, no longer getting that kick out to the right, correcting what mistake he was making early in the match.
I don't know if Rimblas hit it.
6-6.
He did touch it. So 6 apiece. 35-33 now for In Gallinero, who needs this win to stay alive. Only 4 throws remaining. And Rimblos is going to take a huge chunk out of that deficit.
4.
We are tied up.
Wow, we see the early release from Gallinera. Oh, just sailing it. Oh, you see him looking down. He's not happy with himself. But you gotta just reset. It's a new throw.
Good responses from both. Is that a 5 or a 6 for Rimblos?
6, 6.
He got it. All right. Big time bullseye. So we are even entering the last 2 throws.
We are tied on throw 9.
Are we going kill shot, kill
45.
shot?
Let's see.
You betcha.
Kill shots are
There we go, gentlemen. Amateur Hatchet Championship on the line, the next 2 throws.
The crowd cheering loud and immediately dropping silent. That's definitely in.
Oh, an opening.
Miss.
Way too far out.
And now Gallinera is in a great spot to force a 3rd and final match.
Now, did they agree
Throw 10?
to 9 and 10?
Eric is
No.
calling kill shot.
They
Vincent
did
is
not.
staying
It
down.
seems to be fading away. Something that we always saw throwers doing is now not as common.
You know, some of the older folks, you know, may lament the fact,
6.
but I think it really just stands a testament to the fact that the sport is kind of growing into a serious competition. You know?
Well, Evan, I think they can get off my lawn. I want my 9 and 10.
Well, good news. We got a final round to decide this championship.
As we're coming into this 3rd round, right? Rimblos started off so hot in the first, just couldn't miss the bullseye. Comes out in the second a little slow, and then ends up losing. Doesn't Gallinera have maybe the heat, and he's got the momentum moving into this 3rd round?
That definitely plays into the mental aspect of the game for sure.
6, 6.
Starting off with 2 bullseyes in this 3rd round.
You know, much like other sports, we'll talk about home field advantage, things like that. There is definitely a bit of the mental aspect of this game at play.
Ooh, just a bit short.
You could almost hear it slip out of his hand.
Could Rimblos counter with the 6?
6, 5.
All of a sudden, the 1-point lead. Mike, as a competitor, what's the magic number you want to stay within if you're trailing here?
2. Always within 2, because then on throw 9, you can go up and hit a kill shot, and maybe your opponent will stay down, and you take that back.
That's a critical touch if it hit the 6.
4, 6.
Oh. Gallinera now with the lead. He's up 1.
And that's just how quick it can change. You know, that's where, you know, throw to throw, you're really trying to stay within that little mark, but it's just one little slip, and all of a sudden, tables are turned. Uh-oh, 5 or 6?
They're both very
6,
close.
6.
Tabitha Fisher rules it a 6. 2 good bullseyes, and the smoke is off and running as we enter the halfway point. Throw 5 of 10. These competitors over 60 throws now just to get to this final. It has been a grueling day.
Oh, yeah, and that's just the last day of 4 others.
Ooh.
I think that's a little
Interesting.
high.
Hundreds of competitors down here in Appleton, Wisconsin, making for a great weekend at the
6,
Pro-Am
5.
Championship.
That throw from Gallinera, high and
Switch
over-rotated.
targets.
That shows a little bit of squeeze in the handle, a little not a great thing. Let's see if he can correct that on this 6th throw, but that scares me, that 5th one.
Now we switch sides for this back half.
And you see it.
I
Doors
think they're
open.
both out.
4, 5.
Oh,
So Rimblos gets the extra point.
And Gallinera seemingly losing the touch there. Those last 2 throws number 5 and 6, not good. I see him kind of holding his arm. We need to get that reset. Shake it off.
A good response by both. Let's see where Rimblas hit.
6-6.
2 6s.
Still only within a point of each other.
As we enter the final 3 throws. Amateur championship on the line.
The foundation frame right here, the 8th. And Gallinera laying a good foundation with that bullseye. Rimblas answering.
6-6.
These are 2 cold-blooded machines. Stepping up to the task now. Should all of a sudden the kill shots become a factor here late?
I think we're going to see them both.
There it is. Yes. This could be a championship throw and decision if you're Eric Rimblas or Vincent Gallinera.
It's the crowd's favorite part and the thrower's most terrifying. That blue dot is tiny, and you better hit it.
Just inside. Just to the left.
Oh, but it is curved. It might be in.
Miss.
It all comes down to this. The final throw for the amateur championship.
It is throw 10.
Do you consider the kill shot? Oh, wow, they do.
1 point. You gotta.
You need the bonus points here. Here we go. Championship.
All right.
Rimblas in Gallinera.
Rimblas, you hit it, you win.
All down to
Gallinera,
this.
You need to hit and Rimblas miss. There's one piece. Good reset.
Oh, the drama.
Good reset.
A championship throw coming up.
You hit, you win. You miss. You're the runner-up.
For the title.
I think it's in.
How about that delivery?
Incredible reset.
Rimblas recovers and takes home the amateur hatchet championship 2-1. A fun finish here in our hatchet competition. As the crowd comes on and storms the court, celebrating the champion, lifting them on their shoulders. That's a big man with a big check coming. Eric Rimblas, your winner of the Amateur Hatchet Championship. Let's now show you some highlights from this epic championship run in this final competition. Even though this is the amateur finals, the level of competition we've seen today has been phenomenal. These guys are definitely ready for the pro circuit next year. You couldn't tell me these two weren't stressed. That big deep breath from Eric Rimblas, and boy, did he step up.
Incredible. I mean, this is the amateur division, but that was a veteran move right there. Taking a moment, stepping back, settling himself, and delivering to win the championship.
Don't go anywhere. We're speaking with the amateur finalists coming up next. Let's do one final interview with our champion of the amateur hatchet.
I'm here with the amateur portion of this event at the Pro-Am 2023 here in Appleton, Wisconsin. Vincent Gallinera right here took second place. Vincent, what a run. Congratulations on second place. How much work was it to get to the championship?
Once we found out who was eligible for this Pro-Am, I know Eric and I talked about this. You get your information in, and then from that day, you get into the venue and you start throwing, putting those mock matches together. I'm not going to lie, there was mock matches against Eric happening during that time, and you just throw as many reps as you can until you make it here.
Congratulations, Vincent. Eric, we have an awesome hardware on your hand right here as a champion right now of our amateur portion. Eric, great run, great comeback. How do you feel after this win?
I mean, first of all, great throwing. You know, I'm glad the finals was the two of us. The other guys were great, but you know, we're buddies, and so it was really great that we got to throw against each other. But I mean, I'm excited. The nerves are still jitters. I mean, I cried earlier. I got lifted up and I was roaring around. I mean, it was great. It's all the feels right now. All the feels.
How much nerves were going through you guys as you were throwing under the lights and the pressure and everything?
You know, the tournament wobble wasn't here until just now. Under the lights, it's a different feeling, and it feels like you're throwing in like the best venue ever, and that's what it feels like with the crowd and everything.
Guys, congratulations. Vincent second place, Eric first place. Amateur portion, Pro-Am.
Thank you for watching the World Axe Throwing League Pro-Am Championship. What a performance all weekend from these competitors of the World Axe Throwing League. 4 days of grinding it out in Appleton, Wisconsin, and a fun finish. If you'd like to get involved, be sure to check out our website, worldaxethrowingleague.com, for a WATL affiliated venue near you.